Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the BTS Americas number 3. We got ourselves the first round of this tournament. We're going to be looking at the third matchup here, the second game of this best of 3 series. It's going to be Team Freedom up 1-0 over Leviathan, already putting out a really good dynamic of damage and disable. They were able to get great initiations off, a lot of pickoffs against Leviathan, and Leviathan just didn't seem to really find opportunities to execute their strategy. They wanted to build up the Ember, they wanted to play some really strong 5-man with their ultimates, and it just never kind of came into play with the Team Freedom just controlling a lot of parts of the map, as well as, of course, continuing to find those random kills. So looking forward to seeing something a little bit different here from Leviathan going into the draft for game number 2. Once again, I myself am Blaze, and I'm joined by Tralf. What do you think, Ben?
Well, maybe you can help me out here, because I noticed in last game too that Abaddon was first banned by Leviathan in the first phase, and it's now picked up here in the first picking phase here, sort of, for Team Freedom. Is that something that is popular in general? I didn't see it too much at the MDL. Or is that something just here for Team Freedom, or do you even know?
Just for Team Freedom. In their last 10 games of Shanghai major qualifiers, they picked it up 3 times for IX Mike. It just seems like it's something that if they could get their hands on it, they want to. It's been a very common first pick for them, and it's a good hero to build your draft around. So while it is nowhere near normality for the metagame, it seems to be something that you can expect from Team Freedom.
Okay, yeah, it's a little interesting, but Leviathan now snag out the Earth Spirit. They actually banned out the Enchantress, and this time the Nature's Prophet, which I guess Enchantress was kind of a problem, but I really feel like last game it wasn't really picks that won them the game for Team Freedom. It was more of a ridiculously skewed laning stage. So I think if Leviathan just even have a 5% better laning stage, that it'll look a little bit better for them. They ban out the Venge, which I do agree with. I'm surprised they didn't first ban it out. Just the power that it gives, especially in Invoker. If you're not going to ban Invoker, I think Venge definitely has to go. So I'm surprised that Freedom on over the Venge. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Abaddon does here for Team Freedom.
Absolutely. I mean, they can definitely build a lot of heroes that want to go more aggressive and get more involved. A lot of frontline heroes can benefit a lot from this hero, but if Leviathan know what they're getting into against this offlane Abaddon, then they don't have to really draft heavy disable. Honestly, I think the Marana ban is almost worthless for Team Freedom just because of how great Aphotic Shield is at countering that ability. You get like an Ether Lens or a Blink Dagger on the Abaddon,
yeah,
he's going to be able to always be there to break the arrow. So I feel like Marana is almost a wasted ban, but nevertheless, I feel like Leviathan, their game plan is going to be much more oriented around just dealing a lot of damage really quickly, getting good control that isn't necessarily the best thing to purge off. In last patch, it was Winter Wyvern. You had Winter Wyvern against Abaddon, you're not really worried about the Aphotic Shield because you always have at least one really good guaranteed team fight disable. But now that that's a very different hero, we're probably going to be looking at just good silences, like the Earth Spirits is obviously here. I like Disruptor and Silencer against these kinds of heroes as well, but I'm not sure if they fully fit into the draft we see here.
Disruptor for whom? For
Leviathan, to try to counteract the two that we see.
I agree completely. I was just going to say Disruptor is really good against Invoker. It's really good against Abaddon in the sense that when you go on someone else, you still get the Static Storm on someone. That yes, you can mitigate some of the damage with the shield, but the shield is not so much for damage mitigation, although it is, but more of, like you said, getting rid of stuns from arrows or getting rid of silences and then getting rid of slows, things like that. So yes, damage mitigation is great, but when you have Static Storm, nice.
This is turning
That's a really good hero
against
Void too.
Yeah, I've had an interesting discussion with Winter as well as another co-caster that they talked about the aspect of Vici gaming. They like to pick up the Void and the Pudge, and while there is some great synergy with those heroes, there's also the counter synergy that is almost a denial pick, taking it off the table. The Pudge is great for pulling people out of the Chronosphere to keep them safe, or to pull a hero out of the past the Chronosphere or whatever to reposition and get the kills. So, of course, this is a Jenkins legend. He's probably, I wouldn't say the most renowned competitive Pudge player in the Western scene, because obviously we have had historically some amazing Pudge play from many other players, but he's definitely the one that's picked it up the most recently, and now the hero is stronger than ever.
It's definitely stronger than ever. It's very, very strong, and it's like a better swap, honestly. Like the last game we saw swap being
they do
very
go for the
effective
Wyvern.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, we saw swap being really effective against the Chrono, but Pudge is like even better because it's longer range, and you don't have to put yourself in the Chrono. You just grab them out of there, so it's even better than Venge in that respect. But Wyvern, I keep seeing this hero picked, and I honestly don't see success with it. Like, maybe I'm just watching the bad games,
yeah.
but I feel like every time I see this hero picked, it just, that team never wins. His ult just seems so just lame to me now. But obviously the other spells are very strong. The ability to, mitigate all physical damage is very, very strong against, Witch Doctor faces Void. Kind of keeps someone in place and then, like, sets up a combo for Invoker, but that's another story. We'll see, though. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I was going to ask you a comparison between the Disruptor and the Wyvern, because both are in the pool. Both, I think, fill a similar role in terms of that good disable that you don't have to worry about Abaddon taking care of. The enemy might buy BKB to avoid, but other than that, I would say that in a lot of cases the Disruptor brings more value than the Winter Wyvern, but it comes down to how you use it. I feel like Winter Wyvern still has a place in this metagame. It's more that teams have yet to really tap into her true potential. So we'll see if maybe they use the level 1 Cold Embrace to actually push down towers, which is one thing their team is really bad at right now. Obviously, just using the Splinter Blast effectively can be very effective. Maybe it's the fact that Winter Wyvern has more potential to trade hits with the Abaddon through Arctic Burn rather than a Thunderstrike. So when they're going up against Mike's Abaddon, they have an answer. I'm not too sure exactly, but I can't wait to see what Leviathan has in store for us.
The problem with the Wyvern and the change to his ult is that it's really good against supports now, whereas before it was amazing against cores because you could just you could still hit them yourself. But now it's like you have to target a support or else you're not gonna. It's not like other than keeping them in place with like an ult that just keeps someone in place for 4 seconds, so that you can set something up after that. Now it's like we gotta hope that we hit a support with it so that they have enough physical damage to attack them to death.
Yeah.
So you're basically aiming at a Witch Doctor and maybe a Bounty Hunter, but he's probably going to be around and running behind fights and stuff, so you're not going to catch him. But it's basically going to be the Witch Doctor, and that's the problem with the ult. It has limitations now, whereas before it was, I guess, OP to an extent.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But,
jeez.
But it's just, it went from like, this is the trend of Valve nerf sticks, or nerf hammer, whatever you want to call it. But that sometimes, I just said sometimes a lot, nerf things into the ground, and I think it's a little bit too far, but we'll see. So it's just funny because I've seen specifically this combo with Wyvern and OD where you'll ult somebody and then OD will ult. I saw that happen with Aegis several times, and yeah, I guess you have the effects of the ult, but you don't do any damage. We'll see if that happens this game, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just watching the wrong games. I don't know, Blaze.
I mean, like we probably watched the EG games where it's been extremely ineffective. I've seen those too, but I actually think that there's some...
I saw the ones also with Avicii picked him up.
Yeah. There's been a number just across the board where it's just you want it to work and it just doesn't. Either they win in spite of it or it just doesn't do anything. I don't know. But I will talk about its value in this game. Not only is it, again, something the Aphotic Shield can't take away, it is something that you can still attack with the OD. You won't do damage, but you can still hit a target and keep stealing his intelligence. So this is going to build the OD up in that time period. He's going to keep on proccing his aura, and that's going to allow him to dish out a massive amount of damage when the Wyvern ulti ends. Hopefully you have an Earth Spirit to follow up with a stun or a silence after it as well. And even here with the Slark's Essence Shift, like, you're going to be stealing so many stats on these targets that can't do anything but stand there. Sure, they won't be dying, but Slark and OD are going to get massive.
That is one thing that I was going to mention with the ult, is that you can, at least with an OD, just stack up your int, which is obviously very good. I don't think the duration of the ult is very long in the beginning, though. I think it's like 2.75, 3 maybe.
Yeah.
So OD's kind of has to like be there and ready, attacking quickly, or else it's not that great.
10 seconds remaining.
But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we've kind of ripped that one to death. Now with Slark being picked up, though,
5 seconds remaining.
I'm interested to see what skill build he goes for. Most of the time when I've seen this Slark versus Abaddon matchup in terms of laning phase, they actually start, I don't know about maxing, but they put more points into their Essence Shift.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? so that you can grab the stats from a melee hero. And it's not just the Abaddon, but kind of any melee hero, because they're obviously going to be up in the front of the creep wave. So
You also have less
we'll see
kill
if that's
potential
what
against
goes
an Abaddon than against most other heroes, I would say. He's always going to be able to benefit from the shield maybe twice in a skirmish, so I think being able to get better harassment and more direct focus there is better in the long-term aspects of the lane than just getting a little bit more damage from the Pouncer, the Dark Pact. But I am still concerned about this lane.
Yeah, no, the Dark Pact is really bad in this matchup for the Slark, because he's doing damage to himself already. Then all the damage he's doing to Abaddon gets mitigated, and then pops the shield for free for him. So it's actually an incredibly bad skill to be leveling up in terms of the laning stage. Obviously, it's great to max out as soon as you can after that, so you can start taking stacks and start farming the jungle at a faster rate. But yeah,
it's a comeback skill in this case for sure. So I'm actually really worried about this safe lane for Leviathan. I don't think any pick would have made it a lot better, so the Slark is fine, because Slark can be an extremely powerful carry in this context. The only thing he has to really worry about is that Deafening Blast this game. But I will say that this laning phase, just going up against Abaddon Bounty Hunter with Winter Wyvern, sure, he can do more than Disruptor in terms of harassing, because he can actually deal damage with the Arctic Burn, but it's still a very slow hero that if he's ever off tower, I don't know why I can't click him, but if he's ever off tower, then Eagle's going to be the one that has a lot of issues here. Oh, are you clicking on the Abaddon? What's going on here? I don't know. Maybe my camera's locked in. I'm not sure. Oh well. Tralf, you there?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't touching my push to talk. My bad.
Okay, that's fine. No, we're trying out something different, guys. This cameraman function in the lobby, and right now I'm able to click on most of the heroes, but it is being a little bit touchy. So sorry if there's some weird camera work this game.
Okay. Do I have to? I hope I'm not the cameraman.
No. I selected it, so it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been. Oh, okay. I clicked this button and throw that responsibility onto somebody else. Okay. Good luck.
I was literally using the camera with the arrow keys, which can be good sometimes. But anyway, we got a DC here from Shibby. Shibby, what's going on, man?
So weird. Like after 5 seconds, it always goes back to the Abaddon. Are you clicking Abaddon?
I have him clicked, but I'm not clicking him.
Okay, I'm not sure if we're linked in some weird out of Valve halfway 3 confirmed way.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Hold on, I'm gonna click on Void and tell me if it switches to you.
Oh god, we are. I don't know what I got myself into using this function, but I'm looking at Void. So.
Oh no.
I guess if you click at something that dies.
I'm not moving the camera for you, am I?
No. Then I got that covered. I'm not sure if I'm. Oh. I only know a little bit about this function. I thought it would help with your injured hand, but oh boy.
Should I reconnect? Do you think that'll do anything?
Just go ahead and when the first creep wave spawns, click a creep, and when it dies, maybe that'll fix it. I don't know, but
okay, I'll try.
Anyways, so let's talk about the rosters here. We've got ourselves a nice draft. I feel that late game, the OD and the Slark are going to be extremely dominant as long as they can rely on Leviathan's skills for disables and such. But how do you think Freedom match up in the mid and late game?
Well, they have good spells with the Void Chrono, so there's always that. It's hard. I'm always like gravitated to reading text while I'm talking. It throws me off, but they have good spells with the Chrono. They have good vision with the Bounty Hunter. So I would say they're a very strong mid-game team with some late-game possibilities, but throwing that all onto a safe lane Void, although they did it last game with a Slardar, but I think that Venge is just better with an Invoker than, say, a Witch Doctor is. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, you're fine.
Oh, I was DCing in the game for a second. I still say that they're very mid-game centric game. I think Leviathan did a good thing with... I was going to say when they just picked up the OD and then they had the Earth Spirit as the first pick, these are heroes that really want to take a team fight long. They don't want to get some kind of support that just kind of burst someone down, or another hero that bursts somebody down. They want to be able to take the fight as long as they can. Winter Wyvern delay is team fight. Slark is kind of just the epitome of that, by going in, of a team fight. Lotharizing out, regenning his HP, coming back in. He's got very, very low cooldowns, but no burst, so he kind of fits that role of just grinding on a team fight. So I think Leviathan have supplemented their Earth Spirit and their OD picks correctly. The only X factor is the Pudge, of course, where he kind of does both. He can spam someone down with an Aether Lens hook. I mean, that does ridiculous amounts of pure bit damage boost. I still think that's ridiculous how it boosts pure damage. I'm still one of those people, but he also fights in the long sense too, because his hook is relatively low cooldown. If he picks up an Axe, he can throw it out willy-nilly every 4 seconds. So it's always a treat to watch a Pudge.
Absolutely. So it's going to be pretty interesting here. You talked a little bit about that Void carry. I feel like Void in general is not a good carry hero, but it could be a situationally powerful one. I'm looking for that niche where he actually creates a lot of value for his team, builds momentum. He's not going to be doing that much damage on the onset of this game, but he's always going to be able to bring in some really good setup, some good disable. Again, they've got the Death Ward behind it. They've got Francis's Invoker behind it. So I feel like there's going to be some good value for Sunbeam just playing that Initiator like we saw from the Slardar. And he seems comfortable with that role set. He didn't just go Blink and then went back for carry items with the Slardar. He went Blink, Force, BKB. He went all in for Initiation. And if that's the way he wants to play it, I think that's going to work really well for the Void. Now, I wanna, since we have some time, maybe as many as 5 minutes remaining for Leviathan's pause time, I do want to run an idea that I've had since 6.86 came out. What do you think about a Void getting enough farm to get, maybe he gets a Midas or something early, but he gets an Octarine Core instead of the Aghanim Scepter. You got a 75-second cooldown on your Chronosphere instead of 60, but your Time Walk, your Time Dilation, like they are abilities that dramatically benefit from the cooldown reduction as well.
Yeah, I could see it. My problem is I think it's a bit more expensive, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think like 1,400 or something. It's a whole step up. Like it's
not really fitting for like offlane voids in terms of like the tempo of an item you can get, but
I don't know. I feel like it's the ultimate late game item on him.
The ability to time walk faster is I think the biggest thing. But you're not benefiting at all from the ability to lifesteal from spells, which doesn't obviously not. You don't really need that too much from him, but I mean, I would say yes, just because it's a great item. But then again, it's like saying, how about an Axe Refresher, Blink, bots on Witch Doctor? It's just like, well, hell yeah, I'll take that.
Sure.
It's just, can he supplement his net worth, or can he have enough net worth to attain that? And usually it's just about getting items as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But I still agree. It'd be a fantastic item.
It's just the economic road to get to it. And I definitely think that's an issue. For example, we right now, in 99% of Fates of Void games, we see a Vladimir's offering on Void. Why? Because between his Chronospheres, he needs to be able to keep farming in the jungle. He has no self-sustain tools, so he needs to buy an item like that, which will give utility to his team, increase their damage so that he can make the most of his Chronosphere, and most importantly, just allow him to keep jungling and sustain himself. So I feel like the Vlad's is a good item, but maybe like a 60% of games item instead of 100% of games item. And I'd love to see some deviations. I'd love to see things get changed up a little bit here as we wait for this pause to conclude.
What the hell is that?
That is Bane, and welcome to your
Are there new emotes now with the new chest or whatever?
Yeah, but I thought they were all wintry. I thought they were all like snowmen and whatever.
Yay! I think he just came back just in time too.
Excellent. No 4v5 Dota. That is one thing I will never enjoy casting. But
Grace to you.
Here, just a second.
Oh, someone's pausing. Do I have someone to see your camera, or am I just gonna like?
I don't know. I thought that it would. Yeah, I thought that the cameraman moved yours, but if that's not the case, then you'll just have to do your best.
It's fine. I'll work with it. No problem. But I've never worked with it either. So.
Yeah.
New to me.
I've heard bad things mostly, but it seemed like a good idea.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Damn it.
Oh well. Alright, so it looks like Ike's Mike needs a brief pause for his teammates. And now we are good to go for both sides. So, quick introduction here. We've got Eagle on the Winter Wyvern for the side of Leviathan. Shibby will be running on the Outworld Devourer. Got Nusham once again on the Earth Spirit, going for the quick TP for some warding. And then we'll be looking at this Jenkins Pudge here, moving in with the boots very early on. As well, we've got the Slark here, Boris, taking it to the safe lane, trying to get farmed up. But yeah, like I said, I feel like the safe lane is going to be the real question mark. If Leviathan can get a lot done and start fighting back and forth, getting some good harassment out, that'll be a good thing. But as it stands right now, it seems like Freedom will be able to do a lot in this southern juncture.
Especially if this Witch Doctor pokes down once or twice in this lane too. Straight up having an Abaddon and Bounty Hunter is actually not, it could be problematic if they have a tri-lane and a safe lane with Wyvern and Earth Spirit helping out. It's just really important that Boris doesn't get carried away with just getting CS, and that they have to address the heroes rather than saying I need to get farm and I need to pull. It's really important they address the heroes. They have enough reveal for the Bounty Hunter. Let's see, we have 1 sentry still onto Winter Wyvern. And do we have Dust? They don't have Dust, so that could be a cause for concern. And I'm wondering if Earth Spirit's going to start top. If he does, it's going to be a really rough lane for Leviathan. I think it's in his best interest, honestly, to stay bottom and help out and just battle that lane. But without Dust, then I would say, yeah, they go top. But it is a bit concerning.
All right, so I did just get a message from Coddle Guy here. He says that with this camera function, essentially I'm always going to see whatever hero you click, so do your best, just obviously keep it topical, but otherwise, just forgive me guys if I'm missing a little bit of information, like a cooldown on a stun or something. I'll do my best.
Shoot, no pressure, huh?
All right, so it goes from me trying to make it so you don't have to use any, you can have hands off on the game, and now you got to be right in the mix of it, but whatever. We got ourselves a 2v1 to start things off here. The Winter Wyvern's going to start Arctic Burning on Francis, and we're actually going to see him go in for a Cold Snap here with the help of the Bounty Hunter. Goes for a Shadow Walk Strike, gets to walk away with Invis, and he's going to try to go for the Sentry Cut. Yeah, the Tango on both means that it'll be a neutral ground in terms of detection.
Which is always going to favor the Bounty Hunter, obviously, because he doesn't really care about their sentries. Doesn't reveal anything, so a little bit of a win there for Team Freedom. Shibby does still have 4 CS, which is really good. Obviously Invoker has that too, but with this Bounty Hunter in the mix, it can be a little bit difficult to CS. And OD doesn't have exactly the longest range in the world, so...
Alright, so we're going to be seeing movement down bottom here. The stun coming out from the Witch Doctor, not doing too much, but Eagle isn't getting much done with his Arctic Burn either. So, well, I thought the Bounty Hunter would be the expected duo to go with this Abaddon. It feels like they want to kind of make this a dual lane that can be a tri-lane at times here as they're committing fun to the bottom lane. This gives the Faceless Void this 1v1 matchup against Jenkins, which I would say favors the Void as long as he doesn't misstep too hard. And then from there, we get to see a lot more pressure on that Slark early on. Oh, Eagle, not in a good spot right now. He's going to get hit by that Orb of Venom, that Janata, and that Cask, which means that he will be going down for the first blood as one more hit is going to be doing it. That's Neophotic Shield, counteracting the Cold Embrace, and allowing Ix Mike to draw that first kill.
Yeah, and that's what I said. If Witch Doctor camps here in the bottom lane, it's going to be really, really hard for this lane, especially with the fact that they don't have Dust. Although that... You gotta be careful with that though, because even if you do Dust, Abaddon can just shield it off, so there is always that problem. But now, because this is a tri-lane straight up, I would say leave Boris. Like, let him get levels, let him pull for himself if he can, which he can't, but he doesn't necessarily know that right now. But I would say you're not going to win this lane, you need to move around, and Winter Wyvern has kind of done that. He went top for a second, I think, and then now he's running back around. Not quite sure what his plan is. I don't think they can even pull this Void, even if he does come top. Maybe it's best to just sit mid, help assist the OD, try to get some CS.
I think they're going to TP the Slark up top. I think they're going to just make a walk-in rotation on the Wyvern, and then the Slark will go for a quick TP, and that'll kind of reset the lanes a little bit. First and foremost, though, he's going to go in on Sunbee. Arctic Burn, a really good spell against Faceless Void for harassment, but he's already got that time lock, and he's going to be pressuring Eagle all the same. Now Jenkins going to look for this hook. He's going to have to save that time lock for the hook, but in the meantime, that means Sunbee taking too much damage and will just go down.
And unfortunately, I feel like Sunbee got into the mindset where you play Void once he's post level 7, where you can just kind of time walk, you know, willy-nilly, and it has a low cooldown, but it's the same idea and same mindset as playing, like, say, a Weaver level 1. That cooldown is very, very different than when you're spamming it all the time post level 7, so you have to be careful about that. Nushim taking some damage bottom, but he will boulder away. Yeah, it makes it even, it begs the question, why didn't Leviathan start with the Slark top?
Yeah.
Freedom's lanes were somewhat obvious, and even if they did start at top with the Abaddon and whatnot, then that puts a Void bottom, and he's essentially an off lane. He's not your farmer anymore, so it does beg the question, but his CS isn't that bad. I think it's just the fact that Winter Wyvern got picked off that makes it a little bit more difficult. But with the rotations now, Witch Doctor's moving around, forced to TP. Shibby, how's he doing? 14 CS, he's actually not doing too badly. Action on to Mineski.
Yep, he's going to go ahead and Ghost Walk away here. They drop the Sentry Ward, and that should allow them to keep on top of him. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire, keep running, but they actually kill off the Dire Sentry first. So now Ghost Walks, Shadow Walks won't be effective, and that is going to be forcing the Evoker all the way back home. Abaddon's going to be taking damage on the bottom lane. I can't double-click him, but he is going to be falling to that Pounce and Stun combo. Obviously, Abaddon, while tanky through his Aphotic Shield and great for trading, is actually one of the lower base armor heroes and can be killed off if he's kind of locked in position.
That's right, good memory without even having me click on him. That's actually surprising that he did die, though. I mean, I guess Pounce is somewhat good. If there is a skill that Slark has that's pretty good against him, it's Pounce. But, yeah, that's really important. Boris still doing pretty well in the bottom lane. 20 CS, not bad, compared to 21 here for the essentially free-farming Void. Jenkins also has 14 CS and a kill under his belt, almost level 6, too. So that's really important. I would say this laning stage is definitely favoring Leviathan. They have much weaker heroes in terms of what they can do in the laning stage, but they're still kind of coming out even.
Yeah, I mean, this is okay for them, for sure. The Slark is getting most of the CS on bottom. We do see Shibby just only slightly behind the Invoker. The denies, I think, are the more important thing in the matchup between the OD and the Invoker, and we do see actually 7 denies for Shibby, as opposed to 3 for Francis. So overall, I think this is a pretty good showing that they both have a contention in this lane, and as the OD gets to close in on his opponent, he gets to steal so much int with now that he's beyond level 5. So I think that it's actually, with the Bounty Hunter isn't a threat, I think it's a really good point for Shibby to just go in and start winning out on the CS4.
I'm surprised Shibby didn't actually... Oh, there's maybe action bottom.
I think there should be, yeah. There's going to be a bit of a bait from Boris, but right now, I guess they're not confident in going in. They don't know about the Hasted Witch Doctor, but the Hasted Witch Doctor is about to know about them as they walk right by Eagle. He's got to take us to the trees as quickly as possible if he's going to get this TP off. There is going to be a nice little stun on Mike, but he's out of the Arctic Burn, and he's just going to get run down. Cold Embrace or not, it will delay this kill, but it will not prevent it as they've got just too much magic damage, and he's got no way out.
TP coming in from Pudge, but I think it's way too late. I feel like if he came right at the start of that, he may have been able to do something, but there is no more haste rune up on the Witch Doctor. Nice hook.
Oh, they're going to get both of them here. Very nice setup there. Boris, like you said, taking a lot of damage from that Dark Pact, but he'll Fairy Fire against that Mistcoil, and he'll be okay.
They've even brought Sunby all the way down here. He came from the river, so I don't know if he TP'd mid for that. His TP is on cooldown, so he must have TP'd mid.
He probably like clicked here on the minimap that was just slightly closer to the mid lane than to the bottom, and obviously he didn't mean to go all the way bottom. Unless they're trying to set up on the OD somehow.
And Boris is leveling up or maxing out the Dark Pact, so in instances like that with the tower, when you find yourself in a weird scenario where there is a Chronosphere actually.
And they will only hit the stun.
Might.
Yeah. Sunbee's going to stay in position to enable that kill. Good usage of Chrono, and just good early damage from him. I mean, yeah, he's only got an Orb of Venom, but just the level disparity is the big difference there. The Slark is level 5, Sunbee level 7. He's got more stats to play around with, and obviously the mic follow-through is there. So, all in all, good stuff from Freedom as they take control of this bottom lane, start suppressing the Slark's early farm, but although it's a lot later than expected, we will see Boris still just make his way up top. He is now approaching level 6, and from there should have no problem surviving.
That was really nice by Neski, as he did get put under there by the OD, and they were going to use the hook combo, but he put the Forge Spirit right in front of the path of of Pudge, so Jenkins wasn't able to find a clear hook. He tried to find a different angle to get it, but just couldn't quite connect, so nicely played there by Mineski. As Boris makes his way up top, he's actually bootless. He must have something on the courier coming out, as I will click on that because you can't.
Oh.
And it's a Midas.
Alright, we're going to see the Dust Mist up top, but that Midas definitely going to create some real value for Boris as he moves onward. Now, I've had some discussions with a couple friends of mine with regards to Slark Midas. Obviously, we see it a lot in professional Dota. Almost all the Chinese teams are picking it up these days, but there have been alternative builds. There's some farm-enhancing items, getting a Yasha early, getting the Shadow Blade out quick, and finding kills. Like, where do you stand on like the early game Void? Do you think they just need to get that item to throw themselves in the mid to late game quicker, or could he actually get involved on this map?
On the Void or the Slark?
Sorry, I don't know why I said Void. Yeah, Slark with the Midas.
I think Midas is fine. I used to be a huge believer in Midas on Slark all the time, but and then I started to turn into the favor of just getting up, treads and then to a Blink or something, or Blink or Lothars. But I do think it's a little weird that he hasn't got boots, so he has absolutely no team fight play whatsoever. So he's just going to be all farming, so it's essentially going to be 4v5, which is okay because they have the heroes to do that. So he's got to be actually a little bit careful, as if he keeps getting low with this. Oh, now he knows that Bounty Hunter's on him, or there's a he pings it out. He can't go back there and Dark Pact again, or he'll die.
I would just say use the track, trade your mana there for the Bounty Hunter, 50 mana, and then he has to Dark Pact and lose even more health. Like, I feel it's actually a pretty effective trade for the Bounty Hunter, but nevertheless, Shadow Dance expended. He's already scared him off quite significantly, so no matter what, the Slark is not getting what he wants to out of the jungle.
I'll take that.
Yeah, and Bounty Hunter, during that whole time bottom where there was kind of back and forth going on for a good 2 minutes, Bounty Hunter soaked up some really needed EXP at the top lane. So yeah, like you said, now he's level 6, has the track ready. You can just start throwing it out. The big thing is Freedom has had this Abaddon just sitting bottom since that tower's been dead, basically. As there is action onto Fun.
That is a good TP.
No stun as Eagle does not have his ulti, as he's only level 4 actually.
So that's just a very clear-cut disengage as the Boulder Smash came through too early, and I think that is. And I thought maybe he'd have to rely on Ix Mike to get out or something, but he just goes ahead, heads home, realizes the weakness of Leviathan's lineup right now is they have only, 3 heroes that can counter, but each of them only really has the one way to do it. So he's going to be able to get that channel off more times than not, and in this case he's looking pretty strong. The Midas now is coming after that Slark. Boris starting to come online, but how long in this game do you actually expect it before he starts getting involved in the fights intentionally?
Well, probably not for a while now, because that's essentially a 2100 item that does nothing for you in team fights, so that could have been, for instance, like, Treads Aquila and then some?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's probably not active at all in team fights, to answer your question bluntly.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, what time? Is it going to be a 30-minute Slark that starts fighting? Oh, Boris gets caught by the Malediction, it looks like, and it is going to be a lot of slows against him. Doesn't even have mana for the pounce away. It looks like he'll just be straight up killed off. A track kill for 3 heroes, and the hard carry at that. That's actually the most valuable kill you can get right now.
Yeah, and he did just pick up boots. I don't know if that was boots that just picked up in the side shot, but I don't think it was. I think it was something that he already bought before he was dying, and he just threw it on himself and he was dead. But I don't know. I think Midas is one thing, but the fact that he had no build-up items whatsoever beforehand, a little bit weird to me. He also missed a number of CS on his own, which I hate to fault players for because it's just something that happens sometimes. But when it's happening consistently throughout a game, it does add up, especially on a hero that's. He needs every bit of farm he can get when he's had such a rough time in the beginning. So Jenkins trying to go fishing here, but he wasn't able to connect anything.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of the last game is affecting him here, where essentially he didn't really get anything accomplished on the Ember Spirit in a positive way, and actually Jenkins is still going to be able to get the ultimate off here. The Void just left, so that's actually a very clear kill on to Francis. Forward Spirit dies with him, and Jenkins gets a nice boost up of gold towards either the Ether or the Blink.
Yeah, I've seen players do both things. Obviously, they're both great. I think Aether Lens is really good because just the amount of damage that Pudge's hook does is just ridiculous to me. I've had situations in games where I didn't think it shouldn't kill me at all. You have a certain like number in your mind of how much spells do, and then Aether Lens just kind of screws with that, especially with pure damage spells like Touch Hook. So, yeah, I feel like Jenkins goes Blink first most of the time. I could be wrong. I've seen him play it all that much, but I feel like he rushes Blink.
Alright, well, we will see the Tier 1 tower fall in the mid, and that's going to be up top that they try to pressure the Tier 1 for the Dire. We're going to see Boris, again, continue to find difficulty in finding just momentum in this game at all. The Bounty Hunter does not get the second track off, so Boris will heal himself back up. But they've got wards in his jungle now, and while that will be scouted out by the Shadow Dance so they can deward it, it's still slowing down his potential to actually kill creeps. It's actually, most of his gold in the past minute is just going to be from the tower kill that Shibby picked up top.
Yep, and there is a Roshan here from Team Freedom, which is going to go uncontested. There's no vision whatsoever here on this side of the map for Leviathan. They actually are pinging it up now, but it's just simply way too late. So that's going to be an easy Roshan and Aegis here from Nineski. And that's going to mean more objectives that they can take, actually. But looking at it, they've already taken mid, they've already taken bottom. Abaddon's just going to probably park bottom again, although he does have... Oh, they want to fight.
Oh, no!
They want to go in and fight.
Not going on to Slark here. The Sunstrike is not going to be enough before the Shadow Dance comes out. He's going to Dark Pack pounce as quickly as can be. He'll get to the high ground. He'll get away. And now Shibby turns it around onto the Bounty Hunter. He'll go down. Mike can't get the shield. And now there's going to be the Arctic Burn, and everybody's heading onto Francis. The Aegis is going to pop if the Splitter Blast connects, and that will be comboed up with the Saiyans Eclipse. Down they all go. We see the Abaddon having borrowed time. We have Mineski with his second life, but they're going to run right at him and bring him down with a brilliant spell combo. Still, he's got about half his HP left. We'll go back over to the Abaddon, who was forced to borrow some time, but doesn't have enough mana for the TP, and it looks like he will be going down as the final hits connect. So the Invoker will walk away with half his health, but they don't get the Slark. They had Aegis, they had all their ultimates, and that fight couldn't have gone worse for them.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of an awkward setup there from Void. And I don't know if what spells were ready to be invoked or just there wasn't the correct position for their team to be ready for that. It just seemed awkward at the beginning. I'm skipping a little bit, so it's hard for me to see, but sure. I thought it was going to go well because I saw the Punch Hook not connect either, so... Yeah,
the hook only went on a creep. Now we'll see one actually connect onto the Witch Doctor, kind of threading the needle between the creep wave. A really good flanking position from Jenkins, but it was just the backline that did so well. A 3-man Winner's Curse actually showed a lot of value in that fight. It pretty much was responsible for the death of the Invoker as they followed up with just a basic Splinter Blast. So really good play from the Winter Wyvern, I think actually carried that engagement.
It did end up working, as you said. Like, he was able to get a number of attacks. The OD was ready. I do love the OD's item choice, by the way. He went for the drums, which is fine. I'm not a humongous fan of that, but he did go for that. But the Blink, I'm a massive fan of Blink. Very, very early onto the OD. Not able to get the stun in time from Nushan with the Silent. I'm pretty sure that would have been a dead Void. But just unfortunately wasn't there at the right time. Or right place, right time. But yeah, I love that pickup there. Boris slowly starting to get some fighting items. And Jenkins is going to go for the Aether Lens, which I think is better. I think you just need the mana pool, otherwise with a Blink you throw out a hook, you blink in to eat somebody, and then kind of have to wait to regen a little bit for the next hook, I believe, with a mana pool that by the time you have that Blink. So, sure. I like this a lot more.
Well, we're going to be seeing Sunby move out with the invisibility. I don't think they're going to be dropping Sentry Wards around here, so he can kind of keep scanning.
There is one actually.
Oh, this could be bad. He walks right into it. They can just go for the imprisonment. No! They go for the hook instead. Sunby's going in for Chrono onto Jenkins. There's a blink out from Shibby, but still the Meteor will strike. Nice defensive imprisonment from Shibby, and he only eats 1 stack of time dilation, but Mike is on the front line, staying on top of Jenkins. Looks like he'll be able to just run him down, and there's the Death Ward to help it out. But we see Boris coming on the back line. No, the Winner's Curse actually makes it very difficult for them to kill the Witch Doctor. Still, he'll die to the Forge Spirits, and Mike is once again borrowing time. Great usage of the Stone Remnants from the Earth Spirit. He does go down, but he does a lot of damage in the process and sets them up for a 4th kill. They're going to be looking for one more. They've still got Dust on this Bounty Hunter and running him down. We do see that they will be able to close the distance, but he's got that track movement speed. And Blink is going to be the question. Does he actually keep going? No, they're just going to push out the wave, and that is going to be still a massive influx of gold for Leviathan, 4 for 2.
And if there's anything that support players need to know coming into a competitive game, it's cast your spells before you die. And that was a great example from Nusham. Right before he died, had he not got that double stun out, I don't think those two heroes die. And it was right before he died. Extremely important play from him, despite the fact that he did die. So really well played from Nusham. And again, I love this early blink dagger from OD. I think even if you got it before drums, it's so good. It's just it works so well with his skill set. He's able to play it like a Yule sometimes if he wants to, where he can astral himself, not take any damage and blink out, unless of course there's like a chrono or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just so good with his skill set. Also, once he gets more levels on the astral imprisonment, it is eventually a buff with the nice range of it. So it just, I don't know, it just really works well with his skill set. I'm a big fan of it, so I like that from Shibby.
Yeah, my optimal build is still the drum, Atos, and then Blink, but you're up against a Void. We've already seen the value of it. This Blink can do some amazing work here. And I'm actually surprised that some people don't bother with it at all. Like, I was talking to Winter about the Chinese builds and what he sees most in his pubs in SCA, and he says Dragonlance is more common than Blink, and that blows my mind because of how good Blink is.
I see that a lot. I see Dragonlance a lot too, actually. Which I still think is quite good. And the problem you get into is like slot selections. Like he starts to eat up a lot of item slots when you go for smaller items like Blink, Dragonlance, Drums. So just kind of what you feel is what works better for you. Like it's kind of the same thing with Dragonlance, comparing that to Drums, but I'm a big fan of Blink. I think I've said it like 50,000 times by now, but you get the idea. There is a dust here onto Kiko Ule Pipi.
Alright.
As Mike, he rushes forward. Oh, very nice timing with the hook right after the...
Oh, but that Chronosphere gonna set up the Meteor Deafening Blast. Massive damage coming onto the support backline. They're gonna lose 2 already, and it looks like Jenkins will be pursued upon. Has 2 spells on cooldown, but is just too tanky. The Slark wasn't involved in that at all. Shibby's still sticking around, though, and they have vision up to the high ground. They're gonna get a stun. They might get a time lock. Shibby in some real trouble here. He's getting support from Jenkins. Isn't gonna be enough. They kill off 2, and they lock down IX Mike. Shibby gets some distance, but the Aphotic Shield still breaks. Godlike streak fed over to IX Mike. That's 1150 gold. That's about to be handed right back over to Pudge, in fact, as a 480 swings his way. So Leviathan once again take a massively favorable engagement, and that's in spite of some of the best spell usage you can get out of the Invoker. Out of the Voids was pretty good too, and then of course the Death Ward went for a very long time. If you can't get a better fight than that, how do Freedom actually take engagements?
I don't know, because again, I think Leviathan have drafted himself a better late game too, as Kiko running around with the medallion. But is Boris even really doing as much in these fights? I don't even think he is. I think it's just so much damage coming out from the OD, and I see stuff going on. Jenkins got the time dilation on him. Dunby could be in some trouble there as he gets stunned.
And the Tornado's too short. We're going to see Magnetize continue to dominate, deal some damage to the Bounty Hunter, and it's going to be dispelled for fun. But Mike has his ultimate back up, looking to continue the engagement. But with losing 2 heroes already, there's really no choice, especially against the Pudge, where you have to disengage faster, because otherwise the OD is going to be blinking you or the Pudge is going to be hooking you, whether or not you have sight of him. So... yeah, like this. This is actually a huge mistake from IX Mike, and it might cost him his life. We see the hook coming out. No, actually, despite the range, they won't attempt it there, and that is going to be, I think, Leviathan going back to their side.
Interesting. And this is kind of the weird thing about, you know, drafting a Void as a position 1. Like, he still kind of has to go for the same items in this metagame, with the Blink and Vlads and things like that. And usually with a position 1, you want to utilize it so that you're getting things that, you know, unless you're, of course, like a Slardar from last game, which I just think functions better with the Blink. Oh, so focus on lagging a little bit.
Yeah, Mike is in a rough spot, but he does have his ultimate, will pop it, but they're not doing any damage to him. And he's going to be actually caught by the Window Scare, so another great way to deal with that borrowed time. They're looking for the hook. They will not get it, though. It's going to be caught by a creep. Instead, Sunbee hits a 3-man Chronosphere, and Francis will follow it up. Big damage onto the Wyvern. Now looking for Shibby. Has no Force Staff, but is there a hook? Jenkins' hook is on cooldown. Oh, man, that's going to be Boris trying to turn it a little bit. He's starting to do something. That stun coming in from Nusham! Oh, just like Beckham, he's able to crush them with one massive boulder and going hard onto Jubei. With the dust, he kills off the Witch Doctor, the Bounty Hunter. That's a 3-man down. And it looks like they were able to pick up the Void as well with a great hook from Jenkins. Oh my gosh, this Earth Spirit is just playing out of his mind.
Nusham is really the MVP of this game. He's going insane. So it's,
Dire's middle tower is under
and he's also
attack.
he had the veil for that fight too. So
Yeah, he was able to
tons
use
of
that,
damage.
just picked it up, and suddenly 2,000 damage coming out of an Earth Spirit that I don't know if he was level 11. Can you click him?
can.
Dire's
No.
Sorry, it's hard.
Oh, there we go.
But
Good,
yeah,
good function, Valve.
I don't know if he was considering.
Dire's bottom
Yeah.
tower is
I
under
don't know if he was
attack.
considering the amount of kills he got that fight.
Yeah, it's hard to call from here, but no matter what, he did a massive contribution to that fight. A 4-man stun, brilliant magnetize, he was the saving grace for that engagement, and it allowed them to just do so much on the backside of it. I feel that one issue that people have with the Earth Spirit is not only the range of his abilities, but just really learning and instinctively positioning against them. Because, like, you look at an Earthshaker or a Sand King that have those kind of line stuns, everybody naturally knows how to reposition against them. But so far, Earth Spirit, like, it seems like people are comfortable walking in a line against them, and in cases like this, it'll just tear them apart. We're going to see a full invade coming out from Freedom, and I think it is actually going to be favoring them as the Ix Mike gets hooked further forward. There is going to be a blink out from Chibi, but now a brilliant 2-man
nice
cast.
cast.
Eagle will be going down for sure. Goes and drops his spells, as you were saying, but we'll see if Jiggins can do anything here with his Dismember. Sunbeam pops the Chrono just on, actually on everybody as they jump in. It's still going to be half damage from this Meteor, dropping the Sunny's Eclipse to finish off the Void, but Mike is starting to go ham, doing massive work, killing off Nusham, and now looking for Chibi. Can he actually get this blink out of his own spell? There's really nothing to stop it, so he will be able to jump away. Now Boris is here to save the day. Can he kill Mike? One more hit. He doesn't get it. And in fact, the OD will go down to the Sunstrike, while the Abaddon will be able to sneak himself away. The OD is gone. Like, did he have track on him? I'm not sure exactly where the vision came from, but they definitely knew where he was.
Yeah, really nice Sunstrike there from Mineski. That's going to pump him up with some nice gold. Boris still has a lot of levels, though. So this Midas has really paid off, as he hasn't been able to be too active this game, but, I mean, that answered the question, like, how long is it going to take for him to start doing something, but he's played it like he's needed to with the fact that he's gone for the Midas without boots at the very beginning of the game, which is, you can't fight, you just need to farm, you need to do stuff. He has the SNY, yes, he has the ability to fight, but he's really maximizing his net worth, and I think it will pay off in the end. Because the long drawn-out team fights, like I said, are really going to benefit him in the Essence shift, so... He's only got 13 stacks right now, so he's dealing 39 agility. That's going to go up to like 100 in really long engagements, with astral imprisonments, defensive hooks, things like that.
Alright, so we got the Scotty coming out on Slark pretty soon, but right now they're going for Roche. Mike will soon have his Aghanim Scepter. This Aegis will be up for a core member of Team Freedom. And I feel like Leviathan are actually going to have difficulty facing off against that, where most of the fights have been clearly in their favor, and again, they have some really good carries with the Void and the OD. This is going to be kind of the last resurgence of a timing window that Freedom have, when Mike picks up his Ags, and in this 5-minute window for this Aegis. I feel like this is what Freedom have to take advantage of if they're going to be able to take this game back.
Man, this Void is really underfarmed, though. In the position 1 Void having just a blink and not even that close to his Ags, it's pretty scary for the side of Freedom. But they're executing these team fights really well, and if Fun's able to get some good farm too, maybe an Ags, although he is not even close, so he wasn't even going for that. But Ix Mike, very, very farmed, now has his Ags, so all the damage coming out from this, you know, the AoE spells of the Ebola Spirit and the OD, it's going to be mitigated a lot if he gets that Ags off beforehand.
Jenkins unable to connect with a fishing hook, but all the same, I feel like Freedom are ready to just regroup and make their play. Maybe push out mid, then go for the smoke, and then start to take it to Leviathan as quickly as possible. They really don't have time to lose in this, I would say, 4-minute window now.
Jenkins having a great game, though. 2-9 is his box score. Shibi also. Shibi's levels are very, very low, though, and is a bit concerning for him.
It's going to be a problem as time goes by, but for right now, I think that at least his items are going to be able to carry him in the engagements. Yeah, he's not getting all of the value of that intelligence gain or even the third point in his ultimate, but for the most part, his items are so high up on the board right now that I would say that his levels aren't that as big of a concern, but obviously we'll see if Freedom can execute on this next fight. The smoke play came out.
Big smoke.
And it could be deciding what happens for the next 20 minutes for the rest of the game. We'll see as Ix Mike charges in onto Jenkins. Oh, blink back from Jenkins. Shibby has his blink too. Oh, buys the Hex from the single shop, and they'll just kill off Mineski. Oh, they can't get the last hit in the Chronosphere, but still damage is bouncing around here and there. Is there going to be a Winter's Curse onto a side target? Nothing just yet, as the bolt of the stones just keep dropping. Nushem keeps the Magnetize alive. They'll just keep Bounty Hunter out of the fight, and they'll try to focus on somebody else. Only Pudge has died just yet, but we will see Eagle dropping very low and finished off at the last second. Nusham and Chibi at half HP, but they're still packing a massive punch as they go and annihilate the Abaddon. Now look for Sunbeam blinking forth. They get another Hex out, and that is certainly going to be a kill. That's a 3 for 2. And honestly, the Jenkins and Eagle kills are completely inconsequential. If they cast their spells, if they get their ults out, now we see Leviathan taking the map and being able to do whatever they want with the subsequent objectives.
Well, with a fresh deep also onto OD and then having a DD for the entire fight, it really was a really nice blink there from Jenkins that started off the entire fight. Like, had they got him right off the bat with it's kind of unfortunately a slow tornado there from the Invoker, could have been completely different. They were working with an Aegis too, but very fast fingers from Jenkins. Blink Hex coming out onto, unfortunately, a Forge Spirit. Not the target you want here for Shibby.
Not at all, but we're going to see Tornado Meteor's actually going to be doing enough, if not for that imprisonment. Now we're going to see one more spell come out, attempt. He actually gets an auto attack after the blink, but cannot finish him off. We'll maybe look for a Meteor, but for now, or the Sunstrike, but for now we're killing Nusham. Malediction plus Death Ward equals a very clear kill, but Jenkins cleans up the Invoker. He can Sunstrike no one, and the Witch Doctor actually gets a TP away. So now looking for at least one more hook to really cement the advantage Leviathan has claimed in this engagement. Mike for now borrowing time, and it looks like he'll just be going down immediately thereafter. The Void gets to blink out, but Mike under tower will be killed off. And look at all those Essence Shift stacks. We're actually going to be seeing 37, 38 Essence Shift stacks for Boris. He's stacking up 114 stolen agility.
It's kind of funny because the ult was out from Abaddon. He's thinking, no, I don't going to hit him, but wait a second. I can get a lot out of this, actually, if I just suck it up.
And he's going to try to take that right over to Fawn. Look, he nearly two-shots him. The hook actually hits onto the Bounty Hunter. They'll dust him. They'll kill him. And in the meantime, Boris has so much armor, you can chrono him, and it doesn't make a difference. Fawn will go down immediately. Sunbee, shortly thereafter, tries to get away, but the blink doesn't come out. And yes, that is a dead Faceless Void. That's a 5-man wipe, and that's Leviathan taking this game 36-16. The GG has yet to be called, but Freedom have nothing left.
No, they really don't. They just have a one position that has it's 2 and 9 and has very little to no farm. Hook coming out fishing, not able to find anything. But look at Sunbee's farm. He's got a blink and a point booster. This is just not what you not anywhere close of where you need to be in 30 minutes as a one position. And granted, even if he did have farm, I don't even know if it changes that much. Just because I think Boris played a lot better game this game. Like, he had an objective of how he needed to play matching the style of items that he went, and it was just perfect. It was much better.
Oh my God, all the agility, 150 stolen agility for Boris. A hook coming in onto Fun. Nice Tornado EMP coming out from Francis, but it's not going to be enough. It takes the mana out of the Pudge. No more hooks for him, but we're going to look at Shibby, who has to self-imprison. Can he actually get out before the dots take? Boris going hard, has that ultimate still available, so he'll go as deep as he wants to, and while the OD will be going down, Boris is going ham, straight to the fountain, Shadow Dance, and going for blood. IX Mike will be going down, Sunbee as well. Going as deep as he can, and Cold Embrace within the fountain, hooked out again, swag style coming out from Leviathan as they smoke and jump back in. They're dropping their items, they're doing their taunts in ways that cannot even be seen. Leviathan are riding high on this win.
I actually have never seen this many stacks on Slark. It's pretty insane.
I mean, that is...
I think of your freedom, you gotta go new at this point.
I mean, I've seen that with like a Moon Shard and all these other items that enable that. I've seen one Slark get just completely out of control with a team that essentially his opponent, it was a 5th pick Slark where the opponent couldn't actually kill him. But we look at Freedom's lineup, they have so many ways to kill a Slark, and yet Boris has been able to play in spite of it all. It's found an ending KDA of 9, 2, and 12 right now, and that's considering the lane that he started with, which was just an absolute disaster.
Yeah. Well, with the Axe coming out in there from New Shim. Sunbeat trying to do something.
Something.
Damage there as Eagle gets hooked out. Boris, he's in trouble for a little bit. But look how tanky he is, even with the Maledict on him.
Just doesn't matter. He's got
Eagle blinks out.
You know, 33 armor, 2,800 health, 33 minutes. Good hero. Now we're going to see the Witch's Curse just come out onto Francis. They'll use the Hex and Hook to reposition for the kill. Sunbee does what he can, but I think that's going to be it, man. Bottom lane is going to fall, or maybe even just going for the throne. At this point, Freedom are out of options, and the GG is called.
Yeah, I think that, well, for instance, Pudge played really. Everyone just played better, I think.
Yeah.
I still like Leviathan. Like, going back to game 1, I still think Leviathan's draft was better. I just think that, quite frankly, Freedom played better. I still think Leviathan had a better draft in game 2. I think they've had better drafts in both games. They just played so much better. Maybe game 1 was a warm-up game. Specifically, Boris, huge improvement from him. It seemed a little strange that he went for the naked Midas, but he played exactly how he needed to with the items that he went. So say he goes for the treads into an Aquila first, then it makes sense that, yeah, you could go start fighting, you bought items to go fight. It's very easy to get into this kind of situation where even though you go for a Midas, you want to keep fighting, like, because the fight's right near you, maybe it's going well, stop farming, run around, and then maybe pick up a KS here or there. But he just was focused on his overall game plan, which was, I need to just get as much farm as possible, and to get as tanky as possible so that we can take these long engagements. And these long engagements were much more beneficial for Leviathan than Team Freedom, despite the fact that they had an Abaddon.
Yeah, I definitely think that it really came down to how the team played while Boris was at his weak point, though. Like, I would have to say that while he was able to really keep his head in the game and bounce back in a major way, that if the Earth Spirit, if the Winter Wyvern weren't able to make the plays that they did, that 2 of those fights could have gone completely differently.
Yeah.
Freedom could have taken domination over the map, and we could have seen it again and again. The Bounty Hunter just forced the Slark out of his jungle, force him to a point where he just couldn't get anything. So I actually really think it comes down to the way Nusham and Eagle were able to execute with their particular heroes. And we talked about maybe Carry Void not being the ideal pick. It's not worked in a lot of cases. And same thing with the Support Wyvern. Well, in this case, the Support Wyvern does get to show some real value, and hopefully we get to see it fit into some other lineups in the future. But for now, that is going to be concluding Game 2 of this Best of 3 series, bringing us to a deciding Game 3 of Leviathan versus Team Freedom. Thanks once again for tuning in to the BTS America's Series number 3. I'm myself, M. Blaze, at BlazeCasting. He's Tralf, at Tralf Dota, and we will be bringing you guys Game number 3 here in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.